10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. OG's turn to pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
A very back and forth first game here between OG and Team NIGMA.
Remaining.
And we talked a lot about that because it was a fun game to watch. There was a lot happening, and it was also very interesting to see how the draft went. I know that the teams are also needing to talk a lot about this, but they don't really have any more time as we are ready for the draft of Game 2. And here to break it down, we got Milan, we got T-Gov, we talked about IO Luna banned out. Not this time around. They leave the IO in, but they pick it themselves instantly. Team NIGMA answers with still the ILTW, Luna, and the Tusk there also for GH, and IO Gyro. Milan, you wanna give your opinion on these openings first?
This is what we discussed. They're gonna ban some, take some. They're gonna take the IO and the Gyro. We talked, me and T Governor, that we want to see OG pick
10
this carry
seconds
early.
remaining.
Because they have the trouble of people banning out all their carries, and their 24
5
Arc Warden,
seconds
24
remaining.
Morphling didn't really work out. They need to change something. This is possibly their last game in this qualifier. They need to adapt, and they're showing it. They're one of the best teams at adapting, and they pick up the Gyro. This could also be a Thompson Gyro. He's kind of famous for the TI game with the future. And, yeah.
True. What do you make of it, T?
I'm just having a little think, you know, because of course NIGMA,
Yeah.
when they pick Tusk Luna, that's often going to be their laning partner. So it'll be GH playing with RTW, most likely in that lane. And then we're going to obviously see Kuroki playing with Mind Control again. And yeah, like Milan said, when you pick this early Gyrocopter, like big fan of seeing the early carry pick. I think it opens up Thompson to have a better understanding of what he wants from the game, rather than him having to kind of mold his play style to what's being forced onto him type of thing. And yeah, I think just it's going to be the efficiency. I think when we look back at game 1, it's like this Morphling is still top net worth in this game. Like the way in which OG is utilizing the jungle and just the map itself, they are always propping up Sumo to be like this #1 carry in any game, no matter how like what the start feels like. So when you have Io and Jara as well, so your carry already has a better farming pattern than like what the Luna will have. It looks comfortable from both sides, really.
10 seconds
Really does.
remaining.
In the previous game, we had the first 18 minutes, we had 30 kills.
5 seconds remaining.
Kind of unusual. Milan, when you play a game like that, where there's so many kills that early on, right? Game 2, are you trying to prepare yourself to do the same, or do you try to go for a little bit of an approach that might reduce the chaos a bit there in that
Dire
early
team
game?
ban.
I think it's just a OG factor, and like they prepare for it. They're thinking preemptively, but you shouldn't think of Dota in that way. Like every game, it's for itself, and like you just try to make the best possible play, not like reduce the kills or slow it down. Just
10
think what's the
seconds
best
remaining.
and do the best play.
OG's
Not
turn
the
to
safest
ban.
one, not the most surprising one, the best one. That's how they probably look at it. And when I talk about the Winter Wyvern ban, I think they need to ban Mars too. They're gonna look for a last pick miracle. They want to get like a Wyvern is a very good ban, and I think they'll just go with the Mars plus key range hero like a
10
Woodwing.
seconds remaining.
That's what they're looking at, and I think Mars is very good against this
5
range
seconds
win
remaining.
conditions. His third spell is just 2-1-0.
It's kind of the tried and tested as well, right? Like when you think of Mars Hoodwink, it's what they ran twice against Liquid in their victory in the previous series. And I agree. I think Mars, you just need to get rid of it. Like when I think of OG, the heroes that I want to have in a game against them, it's like just anti-5-man Dota. You know, like Mars, even like a Warlock when Liquid play against them, they go for that. Like just these heroes that go, no, if you want to run at us, we will kill you. And yeah, there's the Mars ban.
What is the order here for the? Is it the Timber so?
It's
Yeah. I mean, they banned it first game. Timber is pretty huge.
Timber tied probably, right? Just one of these
They
more
had,
big
Tiger
lads.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, tied probably.
When they had Alina Tusk, they've had
seconds remaining.
Luna Tusk before. It was indeed the Mars Hoodwink. They've also had Slardar with the Tusk another time to get some bit of minus armor, but they did pair that Slardar up with the Venge that time.
Razor.
But they go for the Razor, straight up.
Oh, this is a flex. This is a flex for sure. This is the Miracle mind control flex. And Razor is good like condition against Gyro. Like, if you get the link on him, like he's have much impact.
And also, it does mean like if OG is trying to be a bit creative with the gyrocopter, like the Razor covers you as well, right? Because if it is, let's say, a gyro mid in some rare scenario, Razor goes there as well. Like Gyro doesn't get to play gyro in the mid lane. Like it completely mitigates this flex.
Punish flex with a flex. I like
Exactly.
to say,
Yeah. There we go.
So what do we want to see
is
from this
the-
out of OG?
What is the Saxa here? I think this is the IO for Notel, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
kind of
play some IO, but I don't think
Dire
it's
team
like not
pick.
recently. Like, he's not in the zone.
Let's go for the
I mean,
okay.
this is the kind of flex too.
I don't
It
mind
depends
it. I don't know who said it in a cast. Maybe it was like Folk or Cinder, and they can argue who said it. But like they described Hoodwink as like a ranged Nyx assassin. You know, like he's always scurrying throughout the map. He's looking to set things up and enables. And I think when you have Gyro, you want to have that hero that has that kind of positional advantage, be it some Bane running with a Nightmare, some Nyx Vendetta, or Hoodwink in this scenario, because it sets up for that really. It sets up for that +1 kind of presence in the fight. But again, this is a weird scenario for OG because coming into this, deciding game, they forced to pick an IO when they haven't done this at all in the tournament. Like teams haven't really banned it against them. Like this is the development of these two teams kind of butting heads against each other. So this is kind of like a newer draft that we've had to see.
It's also a deny pick if you think of it. I think the Kuroki would have picked IO here on this slot. I mean, not IO, the
Hoodwink,
Hoodwink. They picked Hoodwink 17 slot like many times. Like I would like say 3-4 times they did this at this exact slot. And like I'm curious what he's gonna pick up. Like, is there a time for like a disruptor? Something a bit out of box against the Gyro IO. Like maybe even the Warlock.
The anti-OG hero. I'm down.
Yeah. If you're gonna fight all the time anyway, Fiddle Bond's pretty darn good. Also, side note, No-Tail is actually one of the players with the highest play rate, I believe, of IOs in the past because of his time on Fnatic at that point. Normally when he was running the IO Gyro, he was always the IO. So I think even though he hasn't played it for a little while, I'm sure he's going to be able to perform the way he should.
Should be fine. I think I'm just gonna say ET maybe for NIGMA because
the melee hero is kind of puts like a Razor offlane like a better option.
Yeah.
That is a good angle.
It's like the idea is I want to be able to.
Ooh, Alchemist.
Is this like a cheap way of saying? But is this like the deny pick, right? Like, do they want to prevent?
This is definitely a deny pick.
This is a deny, right? This is like this. Okay.
Woo. I mean, they can choose what to do because they have the 24. They can choose to like, they can choose to put Alchemist mid, Razor mid, Razor support of Kuroki, Alcon Kuroki. Like they can see and choose. But the OG did their best on Alchemist when they pick it 8 or 18. Like they know their lane and they know he's gonna get this good timing on the Axe and they have the Gyro. As we discussed, they had the issues. They picked the Alchemist. They don't get the Gyro. They don't get the Monkey King. They don't get the Luna. They don't get the good combo. But now it would be perfect. And NIGMA, what a move.
And now because they have Luna as well, like these...
Wind Ranger at your service.
Just a casual Windrunner.
I mean, normally when we see Windrunner, it's last pick, but...
Okay, so if this is the Slacks coefficient strikes again, pick Windrunner, elimination game, whatever. But I think Windrunner as a hero, if you're playing it mid, it works well when there isn't like innate tower damage. So you can just power shot your wave out, and you can slowly get to 2-3 items. Because like the hero is very dominant once you get to like BKB Ags +1, like Maelstrom, whatever. Like that's your time. Before then, you're kind of just a shackle bot enabling your team. So if it is going to be your mid lane, like protect, like basically Windrunner and Hoodwink right now are 4 and 2 into the end of the draft, right?
Dire
These are going to be
team
your
ban.
flex, and Seb will have
Turn
ultimate
to
last pick.
ban.
But
I want to add on that Seb is known for his Windranger, at least from the
Yeah.
pubs. Seb is known
Okay.
for his, he's one of his signature heroes, actually, I would say. So there is still option of picking up like a melee hero and putting Windranger offlane. Like, I think they would they
10
will probably
seconds
do
remaining.
that.
sure, okay.
They ban the bees, so they think that Seb is heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but I could easily see Seb do
Dire
this,
team ban.
against Luna.
What specific build does he go in pubs? Is it like anything quirky
I think
or same?
there is no builds on Windranger. It's just
Whatever you feel.
It's just a boots, javelin, maelstrom
I see.
into blink or BKB.
Okay.
I think like the Windranger specialists like
Oh,
VP save,
geez,
they always
turn
do
to
this
pick.
build.
Yeah,
I
that's
scout them, they do one single build. They ban Magnus and B, so they think it's like a Windranger mid or two. They are with you, and they ban the
And
mid dudes.
OG ban out Morphling and Medusa, so they are expecting this Luna probably to be a support.
Yeah,
That's true.
we talked about this
10
pre-game.
seconds.
Luna,
We
Remaining.
did. We
Dire
did. We
team
mentioned
ban.
it as one of the heroes that could be flex, but it's interesting to see
Yeah.
it so pronounced. And the center coming out here, so yeah, we will have a Wind Ranger, and Seb will take on the center. And
Now
indeed,
select your
a core
heroes.
coming out last for Team NIGMA, so it's going to be a
All right.
support.
So what's
Yeah,
happening with Windrunner and Hoodwink?
Support Razor!
Yeah.
Just a,
Support Razor.
just a casual 5 Razor.
Casual
Alright.
5 Razor.
It is a mid Windrunner. Okay.
It's a good. I want to mention it's a good matchup for the Ember. Like the Windranger specialists, they say they really don't like the Ember matchup. It's like he's too annoying. Yeah.
Whew. I don't know. This is Team NIGMA. They're bringing out like a casual 5 Razor in this game. I think this is. I think that's kind of going to be potentially like a non-factor at the end of this game, because it's going to be the out giving away these early ags, the grouping, the run at you. Like it's going to be the whole story of NIGMA's actually going to be taking the aggression to OG, and this time OG, they want to play the slower game. They just want to get Sumo to top net worth. They want Topson to have BKB plus 2 or 3 items, and I think NIGMA just trying to now take OG's playstyle, which is kind of what NIGMA wanted to do during DPC, right? Croaky always mentioned they want to play aggressive, and this is the draft to do it.
Milan, I got a question, because even though No-Tail, he's got the most IO games of any pro out there, he hasn't played it since February against Thunder in the DPC, and he's paired up with Sumail, who's only in the team recently. We were talking earlier about how your IO +1 combinations, they got to train for a lot. How much do you feel like that's going to impact?
I think DOTA is one of the most talented players in DOTA history, and I think he's got it. I think he's gonna be on point. This is a very important game. He's gonna show up. I think OG might have an edge if they show up the safe lane. I think they probably can. Like they can dominate the safe lane, and this Sumail is not gonna wait for his item. He's gonna go and get them.
Prepare
And
for
he's gonna
battle.
farm the enemy. That's how I can see this game. And I got
I mean, I think that a lot of people would like to see OG take this one, even the Team NIGMA fans perhaps, because that means we get more Dota between these two teams. And I think we're all for that. I know 2 people that are definitely all for that, Sunsfan and Synderen, ready for game 2.
Thank you, Shiver. Synderen, is this an Alchemist game?
Yes,
How do you know?
there's an alchemist on the Dire team.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Thank you so much for
Yes,
clearing that
you're
up.
welcome. Thank you, Rich.
They've already smoked up, and it's going to be broken, and Soxa was in the trees, so it's like they'll be spotted out.
I gotta
Talking
say
about these
before we
lineups.
get started here, yeah. So it looks like nobody's going to run into each other here yet. At least I really liked seeing this draft. I think it was very clear. Like the panel were talking about how much flex mattered in it. Like both teams were consistently trying to outsmart each other by picking a hero that can play another 3 roles, etc., etc. And they end up with a 5 Razor, offlane Alchemist, and finally last pick Miracles mid Ember. And this is a very good Ember game. Nice deny there from Soxa. I think Ember is a really good hero against, first of all, against Centaur, because it's something that Stampede can't get you away from. The slide chains are very reliable and strong setup for Luna as well as Tusk to connect. It's a good spell against Windranger. And also against like Hoodwink. Like, I find that any mid hero, any of the spirits in this game would actually have been good, right? When you look at the Radiant lineup. Something that can outrange the Centaur and escape, something that can dodge the Shackle Shot and the Bushwhack, It's a very high skill game for Miracle, where if he does a very good job, there's so many big plays to be made. But it's also a bit of a minefield, so just to be on his toes here. Cool draft though. OG getting IO Gyro.
I mean, individually, like looking at some of these here, first of all, we get to see Alchemist, which isn't the most popular hero these days, off lane, which means he probably, correct me if I'm wrong, will be going for Ag's Gift at some point. Was the standard at least back in the day. We see a position 5 Razor. What the hell, Synderen? As you can see, the Kuroki's Razor history here, and not that many games.
It's true. He lost with it back in October 2014, and he was like, okay, I'm never picking this hero again. Then 5.5 years later, he forgot the promise he made, picked it again, and then he was like, oh, wait, I'm never playing this hero again. But this time, only 1 year later, I guess with age comes earlier memory loss, so I guess he forgot it again a little bit faster this time. But yeah, Kuro's last 2 Razor games with some losses there. I think a really cool thing about the Razor pick this game is that it's obviously targeted against the Gyro at the point in the draft that they get it. But when NIGMA realized they can get a lot of value about putting it support, they actually don't skill the static link level 1 against Gyro in lane. He skills Plasma Field, and what they do against this IO Gyro lane, they literally just shove in every wave. They Plasma Field it, they acid spray it, they get the CS, and they back off. This is a really, really good way for a lot of dual lanes to play in quote-unquote unfavorable matchups, is to avoid the fight ever happening, right? Like, they're actually just going to keep doing this, and they're going to send down Mana Regen on Kuro, as well as Mind Control, probably getting... Does he have a Soul Ring already coming down here? No, he doesn't. But I do reckon he will get a Soul Ring. And you just keep pushing it. That means Io and Gyro don't get to play aggressive anymore. Concoction.
We have the Holy Missile coming out, but the Concoction early level from Mind Control.
Pretty good damage.
A lot of pressure here. Thompson again gets first blood mid lane. So these guys in their mid lane, I'm expecting Thompson to die in about 15 to 20 seconds for no particular reason. This is like ridiculous, like level 2, level 3 deaths. That is not super common at all as Miracle comes back to lane, so he'll be at the disadvantage, but he has the HP advantage right now.
I think in this game, the kill mid was more likely than in the last game.
True.
I think Wind Ranger does have, especially knowing Thompson's player personality, right? He's possibly the most hyper-aggressive mid laner when he has a favorable matchup. So he's literally just constantly running at him and harassing him. Bottom lane, lots of damage once again. Io, one of the better supports at dealing with this from a defensive perspective of keeping the carry healthy, but not very good at pushing out the wave. So once again, they're just going to keep shoving this into the Gyro and Io in the bottom lane, and then pulling non-stop. Same story from NIGMA.
And I mean, this is just going to force OG to buy even more in the way of regeneration as well. You see that's coming out of the courier, but talk to me about Razor versus Gyro. Is it the idea that static link is just even more effective on Gyro once he gets Ag? It's basically like you're taking double damage away from him in some respects, right?
Right. As far as the core matchup goes, the idea is that Gyro's late game and mid game contribution is so much from flat cannon and the second flat cannon in a fight with the 18-second cooldown. If you static link full drain, Gyro struggles in a lot of fights to get that damage output out. And like you said, it's great against the eggs too. So that is the idea as a core. As a support in this game, I don't know if Kuro can rely on finding a link on Gyro. He's obviously going to try, but I think OG's job here will be to make sure the support Razor just doesn't get into the fight.
Top lane, we see Ice with the tag team, but the Bushwhack is there from Soxa to save Seb. We'll talk about the Centaur in just a moment, Synderen, because, you know, me and him go way back in terms
you're
of...
a fan.
Not as much anymore, I'll be honest, but
Radiant structures.
It is what it is. We've had our time in the sun. Sometimes you just got to move on. But you talk about how it's not particularly good against the Ember, but what about versus everybody else this game? Is it just like one of those generic off-lane heroes where, you know, it's not like he's terrible by any means, but does it have like a really good place going to the mid game?
I think it's a good hero against Luna. The way Luna lineups work is a lot about balling up, getting in there with Eclipse, dealing a lot of damage when the fight is contained, and Centaur can break that up with one button, as long as you're not caught by chains, right? Or a concoction, they can reset. I think it was also just not just that, but it's also about what hero pool OG usually play with, right? Like some of Seb's heroes were banned in the last phase, and they want something that pairs well with a Hoodwink in lane. Centaur Hoodwink is a very strong burst lane. It's the kind of heroes that Hoodwink really loves to play with in lane are the ones where you hit a bushwhack and the follow-up is so overwhelming that you can find kills. All right, well, gotta hit it though.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I mean, it's only a level 1 double edge. Like, how much kill potential do they actually have? Because back in the day, the kill potential of the Centaur, okay, he's going to get stuck in the shards. The Lucian Beam is there as well. The Fairy Fire's going to keep him alive. He gets the kill first, but falls shortly after the ILTW.
Not bad from Seb to trade there, actually. Sure, the kill goes to Soxa, but I thought that was just going to be 1 for nothing. But he did have the damage. I want to point out, by the way, Topson is dumpstering Miracle this game. This is not even remotely close. Last game, he got the first blood, Miracle got it back, and then they kind of equalized. Topson is 1,000 net worth ahead minute 5. He is completely ruining Miracle's lane. 37 and 11 against 18-0. I have not seen Miracle lose a lane this hard in this qualifier so far. That's a really good sign for OG. Miracle's level 4. Topson is almost level 7 in this lane.
It's almost a 3-level advantage. Holy
just relentless.
That's crazy. But there is some comeback potential from Ember as a hero. As Seb is going to die again top lane. So a couple early deaths for him, which will provide Soxa with some much needed levels. I guess you could take it as a silver lining if nothing else. But yeah, what is the comeback potential for Ember this game? Because it is a hero that can come back, but in what scenarios will he need to find them?
Yeah, Ember usually comes back through plays, right? If he has a hard time going to farm a lot, he'll generally be a bit slow. All right, check shot, I'm gonna connect. But who do you connect with? Probably you play around the Tusk, I would imagine. Try to find some good kills together on side lanes. Io Gyro are very susceptible to Ember rotations because they don't have any lockdown, so Ember can just get on top of them and chase them down. You can relatively easily slide dodge the rocket if you have good timing. So I would like to see Miracle go there for his first play, if he can get to that bottom lane.
Yeah, No Tail actually baited out the static link on to himself, and then just tethered away, and that's going to set up a nice kill here for Sumail. So that was actually a really smart play from No Tail. Very high IQ. No Tail, and I mean, these players in this game have so much history in DOTA. They played like every freaking hero between him and Kuroki.
Like sometimes, I'm sorry, but sometimes I feel like the way OG used the chat wheel and the tips and stuff is just Markov chain. Like, they kill Kuro, he goes, I love this game so much, man, Banjo charge, and then he tips Miracle mid. Like, what does this have to do with literally anything?
The whole idea is to be as random as possible, so that thought that's going through your head is, it's going to be a focus fire mid right now, Miracle.
He's just pressing all of his buttons.
I mean, confusion.
Alright, we did something good, guys. Roll the hand on the keyboard, you know?
Yeah, it's all about the chaos. 100% it's about the chaos.
But you're right, like, the thing you were saying about playing all these heroes at this level, right? Like, at this point, the biggest surprise in this game will not come from, like, the playstyle of the players and what their heroes can pull off. It's the strategy itself, right? In the draft, I think the Alchemist pick caught OG off guard, but they adjusted well on the fly. And honestly, though, if Topson hadn't been destroying Miracle this hard, that's true. That is true. Really sorry about that. If Topson hadn't been running mid over this hard, Miracle will be or NIGMA in general will be in a pretty good position in this game. So there obviously is that individual skill factor. I don't think this mid lane goes like this every game. Like if they play it 10 times, Miracle loses this hard maybe once or twice. So really big for Topson to come up like that in this deciding game for them. They have to.
The crazy thing is that could have gone the same way last game if he just didn't die right after he got the original kill, right? Because that's what you typically snowball.
I don't think the matchup allows for it. I don't think, even if Hoodwink gets the first kill on Invoker, I don't think you can win the lane this hard. But with Wind Ranger, you can't. Oh my god, he's pressuring him so hard.
That's a lot of damage.
Miracle forced away. Doesn't even get his own range creep in the tower.
See a Stampede. They're going to try to go for ILTW. Ice Shards are there to break. No, they block him out. Very nicely done. The homing missile was very close, but no cigar. So Sumail, that's the first attempt at the relocate gank. And back he goes to farming in the bot lane. He's pretty close to his Maelstrom. Do you want to see any particular build? Is it always Aghanim himself drafted? I've seen a little bit of leeway in the build for Gyros, but what would you prefer this game? As Mind Control, taking a focus fire. As the concoction out, it looks like it'll create enough space here. Topson will not find
this will be a big pair.
Yeah, this will be a big kill for Miracle if he can get it. Windrun is there for Thompson. He's continuing on with that focus fire. My God, the duration of this is insane. Gets off the power shot. That'll lead him into a kill, but the untimely death, that is exactly what Miracle needed.
That is actually such a dream outcome for Thompson. Considering you're getting jumped by 3 or 4 heroes, not only did you get a kill, but you got killed by Tusk.
Yeah.
It was not the Ember that found that kill bounty. So, and forced a big rotation from NIGMA. I don't think he feels too bad about that. The logic in this move from him to begin with is to shut down the Alchemist farming the jungle, right? But
yeah, for sure.
Probably didn't have any business getting it.
The fact that he got XP, he needed that so freaking bad.
Yeah, he did.
He was so far behind. That certainly helped.
OG are in here stealing NIGMA stacks. And that's gonna cost them.
Sumail with the concoction from Mind Control getting chased. Nice block off again. My goodness. GH just showing why he is one of the best Tusks in the world. That leads to kill off the Sumail. But Thompson, again with the focus fire. Shackle shot's going to connect. Here comes the snowball though. As Miracle's in the area as well. GH is going to get blocked down eventually. Thompson has to be a little bit careful here. Nozo's trying to heal him to a high degree, but not going to be able to do so. And Nozo will be bursted down as well. So 3 kills, and all it cost them was a GH Tusk. I don't think people are going to push this any further as Sumail comes to play as well, as you are just enamored by the band. Man, you are very easily distracted by a banjo. That's good to know.
I don't know why I find this. I don't know why I find this so funny. Like, he dies, and the first thing he says is, "I love this game so much, man." And he plays his banjo. Like, how is that your reaction to getting killed? He's just keeping morale high. I think they thrive on just pretending that nothing matters.
Is under attack. Radiant's
in the future, I'm gonna have to buy a banjo so that I can easily distract you from doing your job the rest of the way.
You are generally great at doing that as soon as we get on camera immediately by looking at me weirdly.
Very true.
Seb?
ILTW setting something up with GH here. Oh, the Lucent Beast gonna be able enough to finish him off into the Eclipse. They lose one in the Tusk, and the Eclipse is completely mitigated thanks to the stun to ILTW.
Play the banjo.
There's no banjo yet.
No banjo charges there. He broke the string. Thompson.
Okay.
MC's in a big
focus fire. Mind Control looks to be dead. Lucent Beam is there. Oh.
You deserved it.
Survived a little bit longer than that.
Top tower
But
is under attack.
Thompson is getting out of control. Is he not? I think the Maelstrom's on the way, right? It has to be. It feels like it's been a while. Maybe his courier got killed earlier.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, it's coming now.
So, okay, let's look a little bit ahead. So, Gyro is doing very, very well, clearly, and he will go Axe. I just think it's, you asked earlier, I think it just makes sense.
Stampede, hoof stomp, double edge. Thompson is in the area as well. They're able to take out ILTW, double kill for Sumail with the relocate, and GH definitely regretting his decision to help out. As that'll be a 3rd kill likely for Sumail. Indeed it is. 2K net worth lead for OG. They want to extend this to a game 3.
Yeah, Gyro is getting absolutely enormous. Axe will be up in probably like 3 minutes at this rate for Sumail. So he'll be sitting on Axe Maelstrom Treads minute 16. Oh, they might find Miracle. He has 1 remnant left.
Expectation.
Does hit in the end. Kuroki with the static link. Set. Listen, Miracle out of the trees, and another shackle shot into another death. This time for Kuroki. CP support from GH. Ready to go. In fact, multiple heroes coming in for Team NIGMA. Seb with the Vanguard just so tanky, they don't want to go on him. Really good positioning. Here's another homing missile on the Miracle. Shackle shot connects as well. Beautiful timing up the layering. Obviously, can't really do it, but very well played either way. At least a much needed kill again onto Miracle. Miracle is having a bit of a rough one.
They're playing heavy punish because of this Alchemist offlane pick. When Mind Control isn't playing these like stronger controllers or lane dominators that he's very famous for, you do open up this vulnerability in Enigma's draft, including a 5 Razor as well, right? Where at this point in time, OG's line is just stronger, so you have to try to play keep away and try to get like long range kills with beams, with slight chains, this kind of stuff, instead of just fighting head on into an IO Gyro combination. I think your timing, honestly, is Alp getting Ags and giving it to Luna. That's when your lineup suddenly has something special. When Luna gets level 2 Eclipse as well, and you just pump that Ags out in the middle of a fight when BKBs are not available yet, that could be a turning point for NIGMA. They kind of have to. Honestly, I don't see any other play on the map right now, except maybe getting this one Hoodwink kill bot and the tier 1 tower. Nothing is available for them.
Radiant's
outside
bottom
of
tower
Soxa.
Gonna pop the scurry, but blocked off by the shards. TP's coming in from Seth, though. And you can see the sharpshooter was actually used in addition to the stampede, but no blink dagger yet for Seb. He's really close to it, though. But this will be enough to defend this tier 1 tower. In fact, the relocate was up as well. Is there any way that the Ags is going to go to Miracle instead?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
If the game was going according to plan, maybe. It is a great axe, but I don't think Miracle's game is good enough that he's going to suddenly just change the entire outcome. I think they need to play for that team fight personally, but I could definitely see them choose to do it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's one of those two, right? Of course.
Dire's
Goes without
bottom
saying.
tower has fallen.
What, you don't want to
Lean
see
toward Luna.
Ags on Kuroki? What are you talking about, Cinder?
Yeah.
5 Razor? I mean,
Or
to be
Tusk,
fair,
just kick
I mean,
away the
Tusk,
gyro.
okay, Tusk kick is very underrated, but it's a late game thing, and it's against like BKB specifically. That's really, but yeah, not gonna happen.
Step with the dagger. Looking for an opening here.
Kuroki's limited to he's not giving his Aghanim Scepter to him. That's very, very unacceptable. That is the captain of your team, Sumail. Looks like he's gonna go for this ancient
Excellent.
PH. Yeah, we got the shackle shot, and that is gonna be the death of Tusk to start this fight out. Looks like the rest of Team NIGMA not really interested. And like you said, the Ags is on Luna. You'll get that big time Eclipse, which you can cast on heroes. Miracle. He is focus fire, but looks like he's gonna be fine. Yeah, they're doing a really good job of invading this jungle. It's mind control. Has to concoct himself. That's unfortunate. They're gonna actually. Stampede is there. The hook storm, it's only going to connect on one, but it is mind control. They'll take that any day of the week. Sumail gets credit for that one. And potentially Roshan is next. 6K net worth lead at 16 minutes. This is a shellacking.
All right, give me your guess on what Gaben thinks in terms of win rate right now. Give me your best
Gaben, let's see, it's against an Alchemist. But then again, you have a Razor support, which he probably doesn't have any data on. So I'm going to say 5% for Team NIGMA.
Damn, dude, you hit it. Spot on, 95 to 5.
I would say I cheated, but I literally don't know the hotkey to show that still.
Radiant's middle
After
tower
10 years of testing.
Dude, that was a really good guess. Wow, I did not think you were going to guess that high. That's still... Yep, it's a problem. We don't need to sugarcoat it. NIGMA are getting owned. They're 7k down with an Alk. They got bodied in mid lane. These earlier moves have just snowballed with the IO gyro, and I honestly think you're literally looking at... You need to get a 2-hero slight chains combination with Eclipse on top. It's probably your only win condition right now in a team fight, is that exact play. And time is ticking, because BKBs will come out. So you kind of got to look for it now.
His remnants are right where Sumail was. The remnant out close to his tier 2. Looks like he's fine. I mean, ILTW is level 12. So you do have a level
Perfect
2
ward by
Eclipse.
Soxa.
You saw that? Okay.
Just saw that smoke.
Thompson would be a big kill, but they know what's coming. And obviously Roshan already dead. Aegis is on Sumail. Now mind control, homing missiles there. And it just feels like there's no getting out of this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he is going to die here. Very dead. Very, very dead indeed. Enigma, they were in the area, but... And smoked, obviously, but like you said, it was spotted out early, so... Yeah, this is getting ugly. Although, okay, into the triangle they go. This would be a huge kill on the Thompson. That's the snowball to start. Oh, the shards break him in, and yeah, there's the Eclipse. Doing a lot of damage, but Thompson's gonna live. There's the flash to finish him off. Static one supplied as well. Still has that relocate coming in 3 seconds. We'll see if he continues to tether to Sumail, but looks like it's not gonna be the case. He wants to fight. And despite getting that one kill, okay, Miracle.
Oh, sucks. I could have waited
Like
a
he
little
might
bit
live.
longer on the sharpshooter for the kill.
Has one more remnant. Seb, gonna get chained. So has the bushwhack. Not gonna be the range here. Away he goes. All right, so that's the silver lining for Enigma, that Miracle does live finally. But still,
Usually when a
to
team
begin.
trades the Razor for the Wind Ranger, like, that's pretty even. But in this case,
Yeah.
it's a level 9 position 5 Razor for the level 15
Dire's
position 2
middle
Wind
tower
Ranger.
is
So
under
it's
attack.
something.
Is under-
But NIGMA were hoping for something bigger there. Every Eclipse that doesn't give them a big win means BKB is just that bit closer. And that's the ultimate counter to this Dire lineup. They have nothing against BKB at all. You have a Luna with a little bit of Glaives, that's it. It's not.
Dire's middle tower.
So the ILTW, I mean, obviously it's pretty early, but has Dragonlance, Yasha, and I mean, you did see the power of that Ags Eclipse.
Okay,
ILTW
maybe
top
turn around
lane.
here.
Okay, with GH's help though, they're able to take out Thompson. The Enigma, they're going to lose Kuroki on the other side, but again, like you said, they'll take that. So a couple of, I don't know, untimely deaths here for Thompson. Creating a little bit
Yeah,
of
his
open
BKB
space.
is getting delayed at least. Gyros is, of course, already up and running, so he can solve the Eclipse. Wouldn't mind seeing Nota go for a Glimmer Cape this game either. Similar logic, just make sure whoever gets targeted by Eclipse stays alive. Relocate top. They've got GH.
Yep, he's dead.
Kids.
And obviously Roshan is, or the Aegis online for Sumail. Is this, so this feels more like a lineup that can go farther than tier 2s with just the first Aegis. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah. I think so.
We'll see what they can do with it. Sumail is now working on a Scotty for himself. The BKB is at 9 seconds, so it's the max. And, I mean, what is NIGMA... Do they have a power spike coming? I mean, it's... Sorry, I looked at Kuroki. He has a mech, which isn't unusual for support, but it's just weird to see. For all these years. Is there like some sort of power spike that you would want to try to wait for?
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom
well,
tower
for me, it was
is
the
under attack.
Eclipse.
Is under-
Once again, I think waiting is the wrong strategy. I think you want to take advantage of the eggs while it has maximum value, so I would like to see them fight now. If they are waiting for something, what is it really? Luna BKB?
Oh, he actually
Barely
moves. All
escapes.
right.
Hey, what are you looking at? Alchemist BKB is very close. Is that even very good here? He's gonna walk in and cast an acid spray and a concoction and then hit for 100 damage.
Yeah, I thought he at this
know.
stage would just go, if he's going to have that much gold, just get that second axe.
Get an axe for Ember or Solar Crest maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think BKB is gonna drastically change anything for him. So, don't really agree with this choice, but we'll see. Like, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a very, very big value play you can make with this BKB. Can you like concoct and just run at the IO perhaps? Or
Radiant's top tower.
he can't kill anyone. Not even close. So what are you getting the BKB for, except just to make sure you get a concoction? That's kind of all it does.
Yeah, that's a great and valid question, Cinderin. I couldn't answer it for you. Maybe in a post-game interview in the future we can get that settled for you.
It hits. Kuro's broken.
Kuro is running into his base, which he's still not technically safe, but the Ice Sharks do create a little bit of a space here. Bushwhack. And looks like that is a retreating Stampede. Well, they see Miracle in the forest as well. With Mind Control, Double Edge, Thompson slows him down. And this looks like an inevitable death for Mind Control. He does have that BKB like we talked about. Oh, okay.
BKB?
Yeah.
Radiant's
Let's see what it does. It's
under
creating
attack.
space. You can't argue that, Cinderin. He goes into the trees. There's the shackle. Double edge. Hook stomp.
Would he not have TP'd out after BKB there?
He could have. Yeah. I mean, he was focus fired, right? But I feel like that's not enough damage.
He was a bit in the tree lines for a short while when he BKB'd. I think he had a bit of fog. So.
I mean, so this is a 6K network lead for OG, and it is an alchemist against an alchemist. It is offlane, but still, it feels like the 6K is really more like a 10, 11K network lead right now.
It's a major. Sab?
Even 6K would be huge. Just Sab, yep, or Sab to safety. Miracle, just trying to be as annoying as possible. So this Aegis is now gone. Butterfly, very close to being finished for Sumail, and they can just wait for the second rush. They have so much map control right now. They have their stack camps to get through. They have the entire NIGMA jungle to get through. So Feels like sky's the
Radiant's
limit
top
right now
tower
for
is under
OG in this game
Radiant
too.
are scanning.
As we have another relocate. Into the creeps we go, defending the tier 1 tower. That was a baby relocate if I've ever seen one. But this gives them enough time to get the butterfly as well. Min-max to the highest level, Synderin.
Yeah, they don't feel like they're going to need this relocate in the next minute. They have full map control. NIGMA will go to the one place they can go through, which is bottom. They're just going to follow Miracle. Damn, he is just a shell
Dire's
of last
top
game
tower
here.
is under
Level
attack.
14. Minute 25. Wind Ranger, even after those 2 or 3 deaths like we talked about on Tops and Chain dying, he's still 3 levels ahead of Miracle. It's been a rough one.
What do you think the biggest reason for that is? Is it just, I mean, obviously he lost his lane. We go back to that every time. Is that literally
That's the
it?
biggest reason.
Radiant's middle tower is
He
under
lost his
attack.
lane really badly. He didn't just
Radiant's
lose, he got
structures
absolutely
are
run over.
fortified.
That's the biggest reason.
Radiant's bottom tower.
The
is
second
under
biggest
attack.
reason is obviously that they didn't
Dire's
really
top tower is
find many
under
kills
attack.
afterwards as a recovery.
Alright, they're gonna try to go high ground here, which again, no Aegis right now. And damage from GH and Kuroki, Sumail's at half HP, and they're just gonna blow up GH from basically the other side of the base here. Not much really needed to take him out. That's how much of a lead they have right now. 9k, and we just wait for the second rush, which is in another minute and a half, so a longer spawn than normal. I think it's been like 20-30 seconds since it was available to see, so.
Illusion.
But all the outer towers, other than the tier 2 bot, are down. Now there's a DD bot for Thompson to bottle up.
Lose together, lose together.
This will align pretty nicely with the upcoming Roshan fight, which I assume, like from NIGMA's perspective, they have to defend. Which again, Eclipse with Ags, that is, I mean, in an enclosed space like Roche Pit, that is pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is theoretically
you have some
possible.
options.
But once again, the options just... It's extremely situational what they have to do, right? They have to find a key stun that they could kill with Eclipse in, and they can't be on the BKB heroes. They can't really lead with anyone because they have no dagger for the catch, so it can only be an Ember Slight Chains, which is not a stun, and they're playing into Relocate. Mech.
Okay, Mind Control just BKB TP this time. He was successful. I think that's literally the reason he bought it, as Kuroki is going to get dropped in the river. So he wants to push lanes and then be able to BKB TP out. That's the actual reason he bought it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Your
Not a
thoughts?
fan.
Your thoughts, sir? I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That's pretty insane.
Yep, there's a reason you haven't.
They don't have any BKB piercing stun unless an MKB is picked up, or a BK, or Basher.
Ever seen someone
No
bleed
one's really
out?
gonna get it. It's interesting.
I don't know, I'm still puzzled. Like, I still try to understand what the reason is behind this. Usually Mind Control builds and what he does in the game make a lot of sense to me, but this one is just a bit out of left field. Maybe he feels like he just, with BKB he can get like 2 concoctions off in a fight, and without it he gets 0. So maybe it's something like that. Because I really don't think it's for the split pushing argument. I don't think he's working well for that.
Radiant's middle tower
Aegis
is
on
fortified.
Sumail.
Yep, second round. It was a good
shot
down.
too.
That's a good question. Io has it. I assume that's who they gave it to. So they're now stuns. We're back to 1999. That's not technically accurate. When was Io put in? Like 2006 or something like that? So we have to relocate. All right, into the creep wave. I keep hyping up this reload. There's nothing else to hype up. This game is a Gaben level shellacking, Cinder. Not even remotely close. Sumail almost has Satanic as well, so going to be close to unkillable.
All of OG's heroes are sitting under an observer ward here, so NIGMA did have information about what's happening, but I think even if they didn't have a ward, they kind of knew where they were anyway right now, to be honest. Miracle, not going to get any courier kills here.
And interestingly enough, Seb is actually building an Aghanim Scepter on Centaur. That's very cool. So this will allow you to run through the shards, which have actually been the most annoying spell for them. in addition to, you know, giving that little damage mitigation and extra second to Stampede, is GH getting gone on. Hold down will just clip him, but they're going to focus on the towers right now. And sharpshooter, oh, into the power shot!
Dyer's top
Oh,
tower.
Damn.
GH, that was basically global. Goodness gracious.
I heard OG CSGO could use some firepower, guys.
Oh boy. Okay, sure. Jamel pops that Satanic, and he's going to get healed to a high degree now.
Oh.
Here comes the Eclipse from afar. It's not using that much, though, as the Stampede is finally used. It's used for initiation, though, and gets forced up to the low ground. Okay, now Mind Control trying to do as much damage as he can. 2-7's already popped everything, but they can't do anything against the Gyrocopter. Going for Io. Io finally dies. No tail. To his grave he goes. Only cost him 2 supports, though. So 2 for 2. Thompson looking for more. Oh my god, the Shackle shot actually connected. But they don't really have any gap close, although Thompson uses that blink. Focus on the Miracle. Running pretty deep. Concoction's going to be dodged thanks to that BKB. And this will create enough space for Sumail to secure this barracks, I would assume. Still has Aegis. And left. Karoki's here. BKB flop. Bushwhack. Getting static frames. And Thompson, he's going to have to be careful. He does not have the Aegis or cheese or anything in that regard. Alright. Looks like Sumail's just going to have to back out. As NIGMA trying the best to hold on. But again with the Satanic. Not healing him that much right now. They're going to be able to take out Soxa on the backside as Thompson's getting quite low. Onto the high ground they go. Trophy. It's up the plasma field. They finally take out this Aegis. Beautiful Shackle, but a little bit too late. But Seth jumps in with the hooks up onto 2, and that'll clean up another couple members as OG is looking to take this game number 2. And with that second, yeah, this is going to be a, I would likely think a double racks. Seth is just going to tank up these towers as the Banjo. I know you're distracted right now, Synderen. Banjos did go off. Sumail, okay. A couple buybacks. They can try to defend here as GH taking a lot of damage from the rocket barrage. Call down going to connect on all 3 though. Trying to throw the BKB Thompson. Has the focus fire and Sumail just focusing on the Miracle as that is a death again. Buyback for him as ILTW is limping back to base. Looks like he'll survive, but
Dyer's middle tower
this will be
has fallen.
many a buildings going down.
Dyer's middle barracks are under attack.
Always feels bad as a Centaur when you have no building that's able to hit you. When you get to the racks, the naked racks, he's useless. Very sad. Alright, Sumail. Mind Control. Foot Stomp. Into death. Choo-choo. Banjos. Let's just commentate the voice lines.
Dyer's top
This is a second racks now.
middle barracks.
They could just go for strong. Absolutely. Still die back on both Alf and Ember.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
But in classic TI9 style, nobody's calling GG yet. And Seth jumps in with the hook stop. Connect on Razor. But it's going to be enough to get the kill yet again. No tail on the sideline, though. Has his tether available to try to get onto Sumail. Uses it. The move later to chase in. And it ends up taking out. He bursts like a pinata. And it actually is a pinata because he is pretty decently farmed compared to the rest of NIGMA. Alright, Sharpshooter, ILTW, pops the BKB, getting chased by Sumail, who no longer has the Aegis and no longer has Io by his side, at least not yet. Looks like there was a relocate, actually, so just refilling Seb a little bit here. Sumail's like, hey, I don't have mana, bro. Where's my Io at? Just taking me back to base. Aghanim Scepter. Onto Thompson, so the win run is constantly. They're going for the tier 4, so they could go for Megas, technically. The tier 2 is down, but the game, it feels so over. Sumail getting loose and beam. He does have to be a little bit careful here. He does not have Aegis. And I think they used the cheese already, if I'm not mistaken. Mind Control, Concoction. Ripe and ready. Oh, it's going to use it onto a Thompson illusion. Very sad to see. What's that? Looks like Mind Control is going to find his way to the grave, along with GH and Team NIGMA are going to finally lose Game 2. This game was over. It's been over for about 20 minutes, I have to say.
They did a pretty good job hanging in there, but this game felt a lot more inevitable.